now is just gloriously simple. Two men, that beautiful old trophy we've just seen, and 19 frames to sort it out. The 2017 UK Championship final on Eurosport Live. Your commentators, Joe Johnson and Philip Stott.
It's simply one of the greatest occasions this sport can offer. And isn't it funny how, despite all the upsets in the early rounds, somehow, some way, the cream rises to the top. Two players who have won the sport's most coveted trophies, in O'Sullivan's case, many times over. But Shaun Murphy knows how to beat the Rocket now over the championship distance. He proved it at the Champion of Champions. How significant will that victory be in this match today? What an occasion, what a crowd, what an atmosphere. Why would you want to be anywhere else?
The first frame.
And the first question to Joe Johnson is, what's your prediction?
Well, if Jimmy White can have two predictions, I should be able to have two predictions.
Oh, go on, have three.
I'm going to have three. I think it's going to be 10-4, O'Sullivan.
The first frame.
10-8.
O'Sullivan to break.
Shaun Murphy.
Can't pick two different winners, for goodness sake.
I'm setting a new precedent.
Well, I think it's safe to say they're not the best of friends, these two, but they certainly have a lot of respect for each other's talent. Shaun Murphy has been quite outspoken in the past about some of Ronnie O'Sullivan's utterances that he hasn't agreed with, but whenever you ask him about O'Sullivan's ability, he is unequivocal, the best of all time. And that was so bad, it ended up being good.
One.
Is that an omen?
Well, he'd left a red to the left centre when he missed this one. And bringing the pink into play, which I think is a good shot.
Murphy won.
So, a mistake, too hard, too high. And needs to put Ronnie O'Sullivan under pressure straight away. And that's not the best shot he's played, although he could be on the pink. I can't understand why he doesn't play that with right-hand side and send the cue ball up towards the blue and baulk colours. He's guaranteed to be on a ball that way. He's very fortunate to be on the pink.
Seven. Eight. $14. $15. $20. 39.
Well, he's just run a little too far
26.
for this red, but it could work to his advantage. Could open more reds.
27.
Could be a red just below the pink that would go to the right corner. Can't get on it this time.
$32.
And looks straightish
33.
on the blue again. And this time the red is not so easy. Overscrewed it. But he's a tall fella. He may be able to
38.
reach this red.
We've talked ad infinitum throughout this tournament and many times in the past about O'Sullivan being a fantastic front runner. So vital for Shaun Murphy today.
39.
He can stay with the Rocket in the early stages. Of course, he managed to build a lead in the Champion of Champions final and withstood a comeback from O'Sullivan. Can't afford to fall 2 or 3 frames behind. He has had a couple of hidings from the Rocket in the past, most notably at the World Championship, 13-7 this year. 13-3 3 years ago at the Crucible.
Yes, and that's why, exactly why, Shaun Murphy has to do the leading in this match. That's a good recovery shot. Played it confidently.
47.
Because if he does get behind, it could be a slaughter. But every chance of winning this frame now, especially if that red next to the pink goes. I don't think he could have played that any better. Played for the red
52.
to the middle, but if he was on this red to the left corner, it would have been a bonus, and looks like he is on it.
$53.
Just the red then
60.
for the perfect start from the Magician. Well, the opening red was a bit ropey from long range, the one that he fluked into the green pocket, but the rest, since he got back in, has been all skill, and he's got that swagger about him again, hasn't he, Murphy? Striding round the table purposefully.
Yes, he got a little bit fortunate
66.
busting the pack open and finishing on the pink.
67.
But from there, it's been a marvellous break.
These two have been banging in the centuries for fun all
74.
week. 11 combined. Murphy's made 4.
75. $82. 83.
90. 91. 96.
Oh, certainly got hold of that one.
98.
Yes, he's got cue power to burn, Murphy. Hit that too well, didn't he?
Good recovery, though. And that's the first century of this final.
And highly unlikely to be the last. What a day to have a ticket at the Barbican. This could be something
105.
really, truly extra special.
$110. 116.
Easy as 1, 2, 3. A brilliant clearance from Shaun Murphy. What a start to the UK final. What an afternoon and evening we had ahead with us. Opening from the magician Shaun Murphy with a clearance of 123 in the opening frame. There's a statement of intent. Gauntlet so thrown. Will Ronnie O'Sullivan pick it up straight away? Two of the most attractive players to watch when they're in full flow.
Thank you. The second frame. We turn that off, please. Shaun Murphy to break.
Looking at the possible plant. And it could reverse a little this because they are close together. So it needs to hit this thick, I think. Yep. Cue ball needs to slow down.
One.
And just got there. Unfortunate to have left the plant off the break. Has the angle to come down for the black. And you see this red at the back of the pack there. He likes to leave himself an angle on that red to open the pack of reds up. Let's see if that's what he plays. A couple of shots time. So instead of finishing straight on the red, leaves himself low on it.
13.
He'll just come a little too far to open them
20.
right up, but might be able to knock one or two out. And he had that right-hand side on the cue ball. Open the reds up. Look at the side on the cue ball as it comes off the cushion. It goes up towards the blue. Giving himself every chance of being on a colour.
Foul.
Well, that's unfortunate.
Ronnie O'Sullivan, 21. Shaun Murphy, 6.
Didn't catch the reds full enough. And that can happen if you catch them half ball like that. Well, there's a lot of pressure on this red. If he decides to stun for the black, he'll be leaving reds on. Decided to go up for the blue, or one of the ball colours.
One.
And the way that Shaun's playing at the moment, you wouldn't put it past him to win this frame from here. Come a little too far for the red, for the black.
3.
But he can go up for the blue. 100% pot success.
Four. Nine. Ten.
Well, he could go into the reds here with the insurance of both reds to either side.
$17. 18.
Took the opportunity that time round. Well, that red was still available.
25. $26.
Yes, it was close. And that could have missed on some of the tables that they play on. No.
Slightly hampered with his cueing. That was enough to make it awkward.
Yes, and it could be a little turning point, that, you know, because it could have been 2-0 up there very easily. And if it's one each and Ronnie gets on a run because of that, obviously you want to make him pay. And the balls are there to make him pay.
One. Six. Seven.
Just overscrewed it a little. Wanted to be straight
13.
on the red to be able to play for the black. He's
14.
a little slow. Gonna come between the brown and yellow with the two reds into the right corner. And has to play this plain ball, or otherwise he'll get too much side on. That's good. Very,
Just missed the brown, didn't he?
very nearly caught it, and that would have been disaster.
It's almost as though the cue ball swerved past the brown at the very last moment. And that could be the difference between winning and losing this frame for O'Sullivan. An important one, as you say, Joe, early in the piece, because Murphy was looking threatening there.
27.
It could change the whole match, this, without a shadow of a doubt. If O'Sullivan gets on a run after this frame, hasn't won it yet, though. He's looking at playing onto the pink, which will get him to the next red. Decided to play up.
28.
So check side and play up for the pink. Just needs to drop it in dead weight. Well, because he nearly missed the pink, hit it too thin, he's lost the cue ball.
34.
£23 points the difference, so red and big colour should be enough, and I'll make Shaun Murphy think if he can pot this red. Not easy. Made absolutely sure of the red. They're tough pots. They look easy on television, but he had to take the utmost care on that red.
Especially with extensions on cue and rest. This is frame ball. Well, Shaun Murphy had the chance to take a 2-0 lead.
42.
He finished awkwardly on the black. His cueing was somewhat hampered.
44.
He missed the black off its spot. And Ronnie O'Sullivan has punished him.
Well, he nearly missed the red previous, didn't he?
47.
So battle is joined.
51. $56.
Shaun hasn't got to
62.
let it affect him, that missed black. Got to put it out of his mind.
A 1-2-3 clearance from Shaun Murphy in the opening frame. Ronnie O'Sullivan got his chance in the second after Murphy missed the black. And a break of 62 as he fouls the final black, levels the match. One frame apiece in the final. Books his cue. He'll be pleased to have levelled, because it was looking at one stage in that second frame that Shaun Murphy was going to double his lead. He was looking very confident, striding around the table like a man on a mission, but missed
Frame
the black.
3. Ronnie O'Sullivan to break.
And O'Sullivan, as he has done so impressively throughout this tournament, punishing any mistake with a clinical frame-winning contribution. He did it yesterday against Maguire. At key moments, most notably when he sat out for half an hour, Maguire making his comeback, Mr. Yellow. And that was the cue for Ronnie, who hadn't had a shot for 30 minutes, to make a sublime century clearance. That's how good he is. That's how focused he is at the moment, Joe.
Yeah, absolutely focused. But I think they both are. But that's what you call a break-off. Got the cue ball where he wanted it. And they're starting young. Looks very much like my granddaughter, Demi Jo. Well, there's applause, but it could have cost him the frame. What a let-off. What a let-off.
It's the fourth time they've contested a final, the first in a ranking event, though. They also met in the final of the Premier League, remember that? One win apiece.
One.
And of course, Murphy won the Champion of Champions final this season. And I wonder whether he really believed he could beat Ronnie O'Sullivan over a match like the best of 19 before that final. Now he knows he can, and that could be very significant today.
Nine.
Well, he could go into them here if he's feeling super confident. Wow, very nice. Shaun's turn to have a bit of bad luck.
9, Ronnie O'Sullivan 5.
He was on the black. Sorry, he was on the red. Oh, the red directly above the black. If he cannons that, or both of the reds at the same time, he should be on reds to both corners. Good job it wasn't harder.
Eight. Nine.
Again, he could play the cannon to the red above the black. No need to. Leaves him on choice of reds.
16. Done. 17. $24. 25.
Well, Murphy was unlucky, no question about it. Knocking in a red with the blue. Had he not done so, you'd have backed him to do what O'Sullivan looks likely to do here.
32.
Make a frame-winning break. But of course, O'Sullivan suffered similar misfortune
33.
prior to that.
Yes, he went in off the reds, didn't he? He's just come a little far there, and if he plays the cannon to the two reds by the pink spot, he's not supposed to be on a red. And that's what he's concerned about. If he was guaranteed to be on a red, he'd play the cannon to those two reds. Nicely played. This red will go.
38.
And just about the right side. This table not running as fast as they normally do.
$43. $44. $49. 50.
And he can just about miss the red on the cushion. Just checking the scores. So red and a black
57.
is enough.
58.
And it never really looked in doubt, did it, from the moment that Murphy unluckily knocked the red in with the blue. Both of these players capable of
65.
punishing every error with something big.
66. 73. 74.
Ronnie O'Sullivan has talked about how he feels he's scrapped his way to this final, Mark Selby-like. Well, he's scrapped pretty impressively with 7 centuries already.
Yeah,
81.
you have to laugh at what he says sometimes. But I do know what he means, because he's won a lot of close frames. He's battled hard for those close frames when he hasn't made a century or a big break. And that's what I've been impressed with
89.
this week. He's really got stuck in when he hasn't played his best.
91.
And then produced his best when you least expect it.
And sometimes those smaller breaks are more hurtful because they come as a result of your opponent missing when they're well ahead, and
94.
O'Sullivan then conjures a frame-winning clearance to win on the pink or the black. Those are the frames that linger.
98.
Well, it always looked like being something really special today, and it's certainly living up to its billing. There's sports psychiatrist Dr. Steve Peters, instrumental in producing this zen-like calm that Ronnie O'Sullivan seems to have these days in the big matches. And having lost the opening frame, he wins back-to-back frames, that one with a century, to lead Murphy by 2 frames to 1. Or Murphy 2-1 in the UK Championship final, and already it's been quite a spectacle. A century from each player. Shaun Murphy unlucky in that frame to pot the blue, but knock in a red as well.
Thank you.
And
The
that left
fourth
them all
frame.
there for O'Sullivan. He made
Shaun
no
Murphy to
mistake.
break.
And already we're at the frame before the interval.
Pushed the red towards that left corner, but it's finished up close to the cushion, makes it difficult. But the other 2 reds out in the open, they're an option, and he's been knocking these in with such consistency. Average shot time, look at that. Murphy in front. 13 seconds. Look at that. What a shot. And what timing that was on the cue ball. Timed it so well. This was struck superbly.
Too well again.
But hardly touched that white ball. Didn't really hit it that hard. He just timed it so well. And I think this is already is a must-win frame for Shaun Murphy.
Six.
He could hold for the black, but he'd be the wrong side of the black. So I may have to play it for the blue. Use the right side. Come down for this red just below the black, or he could go into them. This time, thought better of it.
Twelve.
Well, left the angle on the black, a little bit too much angle. He's going to have to play this now with left-hand side on the cue ball. Makes the shot a little bit more difficult. Giving it full consideration, doesn't want to miss another black off the spot. Yeah, just didn't get enough left-hand side on the cue ball. And this red down the cushion is a tough one. Needed to catch that red full in the face. Not that one, the one in front of the black. Not enough side. A little bit of a dilemma, because if he doesn't play the red, he knows that O'Sullivan may do.
Shaun Murphy, 20.
Well, that was an ambitious shot. I think he was trying to cut the red in. He could have been trying to play safe off that red and caught it too thin. I don't think he went for the pot there, just caught it too thin. The side took it away from the red.
One.
So another chance for Shaun Murphy.
Seven.
Just having a little squint there, wasn't he? He's wearing contact lenses now, Shaun. And doesn't seem to be doing too badly with them.
Eight.
Well, he may have played for the black there, but he's gone a little far. But he's got the ideal angle on the yellow to bust the pack. Well, that's unfortunate. Caught the pink instead of the reds. So he's been in twice.
10.
Could have played for the loose red, but chose to be aggressive. Well, he can't leave the cue ball in the middle of the table there. Sullivan would have a free go at this red to the right corner.
Shaun Murphy, 10.
Shorter pace. May have left a thin cut to the left corner. Yeah, good pace on the cue ball. Look at that cue ball. But he may have left a half chance. If he can pop the red to the left corner and miss the pack. Well, thinking of leaving the cue ball on the black cushion, but that's dangerous. Would be a red to the right middle. Yeah, if he can play that shot, that would be the shot to play. If not, then maybe try and roll that red in down the cushion. He'd only leave the red he was playing on. Cue ball should be dead on the black cushion. It's a big shot.
It's a big frame, isn't it? Murphy's played some great stuff in this mini session, but it won't count for much if he's trailing 3-1.
Yeah, I mean, normally, if he'd have been playing somebody else, he'd have took this red on down the cushion by now. Well, he couldn't have got any closer without it dropping, but it's going to cost him. And should be 3-1 down. How close was this? I thought it was in at one stage.
Well, Ronnie O'Sullivan comes to the table 30 points behind. This would be a serious early blow in the final for Murphy if O'Sullivan produces yet another frame-winning break.
1.
Well, found the gap there, but I don't think he played that. The other side of the blue, I think he played, to give himself chance of two colours. It couldn't have landed any better. And he tried to clear the pink spot there by playing the cannon to that red.
8.
Because now he can play for the pink or the black, but it would go on to the brown spot.
9.
It shouldn't make a difference. Can do the damage with the black and blue. And you can always tell when O'Sullivan's at his best because that cue ball is spot on each time.
15.
And again there, it was an easy pot, but to get perfect position. If he plays the cannon, it could go wrong. He can play for the red just below the pink. Well, he's on a red to the middle.
23.
Stunning stats. Murphy at 95%, and yet he might find himself trailing 3-1 at the first interval.
Having made a 1-2-3 break, and I was saying at the time that that missed black could be very, very important. He was looking like being 2-0 up. And he's looking like being 3-1 down now. Scores all level.
$31.
Left himself straighter on this red than he would have wanted.
$38. 39. $46. 47. 54.
So just looking to see where he wants to be, to either nudge those two reds or drop in behind them. I'm not sure if one of them will go to the middle. I think it will, but 55. I'm not sure. Well, he's come too far. He's come too far there, so it could be a life here for Murphy. He's going to have to come between the yellow and brown unless he can screw directly at them. Through the yellow and brown. Is he hard enough? Don't think he's hard enough. Not hard enough. 62. Another 6 inches.
Well, the crowd enjoyed the attempted positional shot, but it looks as though this frame isn't done yet. Sullivan still needs a red in the colour.
Well, he's managed to push a red towards the side cushion,
62.
And that in itself was a good shot from where they were. And you can see that he's not happy getting on them 2 reds, but it was the positional shot on the black from an easy red that he had. He looked to see where he wanted to be and then played it too hard. And this is a good safety from Shaun Murphy. Nothing safe. Cracking shot. Now then, great chance for Shaun Murphy. And this was all because he didn't get position on the black.
Well, these are big moments early in the UK final. If Shaun Murphy can get in at the interval at 2 each, he'll be delighted. Probably feels as though he deserves to be level. But sometimes you don't get what you deserve. And it was looking like 3-1 O'Sullivan, a very handy early lead, particularly after losing the first to a century. This is the attempted positional shot. It would have been wonderful if he'd made it.
Yeah, the point is that he shouldn't have been there on the black. He had an easy red prior to that black. He looked to see where he wanted to be and then came down too far. And not often you see O'Sullivan play a loose positional shot like that. Well, if you can take the pink, it makes it easier to get to the brown at some stage. Shouldn't be a problem to get to the brown, just needs to finish straightish on the pink.
14.
And that will do nicely. Doesn't need the black.
$17. $21.
And perfectly onto the blue. So it's going to be set up all nicely. And he let Shaun Murphy off there, no shadow of a doubt. By not getting good position on the black, he had to send the cue ball round the table.
26.
Well, it's been a tremendous opening salvo here at the Barbican. O'Sullivan could have forced the respot with this black. Barring something unforeseen, like a piece of wildlife in the jaws of the pocket. Is that a Ronnie O'Sullivan fan, I wonder? Well, if he was, he is no longer. Murphy takes frame 4 on the black, and that is a very significant frame, you feel, in the context of what is already proving to be a wonderful spectacle for this packed Barbican crowd. And it's as you were after the first 4 frames, level pegging, both with a century. O'Sullivan 2, Murphy 2.
He's never going to do that full T.
I got a hypnosis session Monday night by Skype, actually.
Have you? By Skype?
What will they think of next?
Oh, I can't believe we've run out of time on that. All right, let's get back to Philip Studd and Joe Johnson.
Stay tuned, more on that later, I'm sure, just when it was getting interesting. Well, the only certainty for the remainder of this session is that someone is going to emerge with a lead. 5 more to come.
Frame 5.
What has already been
Ronnie
a
O'Sullivan
compelling spectacle. Both players producing some great stuff. They both had a bit of ill fortune. And I think, Joe, that 2-all, all things considered, is about right.
Yeah, I think the luck has evened itself out. Both missed important balls, and it's cost them both in both frames. Match time just 50 minutes. Wonderful stuff. Average frame time, just over 12 minutes. And what about that? I mean, that is a superb pop. Just off straight, gets down, knocks it in, as though it's over the pocket. What a shot, and very, very difficult shots to play, just off straight. Well, he's going to be going into them, there's no doubt about that. Anybody hurt? And if that red stops, he's on one. I think the red has just come in front of it, you know. It has. He caught the pink absolutely beautiful. Sent a red over that right corner pocket. But this red has just come in the way to foil things. And look at this for a shot. Well, he couldn't have got any closer, but he's left O'Sullivan with a great chance. And this is what I like about Shaun Murphy, attacking. Makes him so good to watch. Okay, it doesn't always work. But when it does, something special.
Foul.
Would you believe that?
Shaun Murphy 4.
He's touched a red with his waistcoat as he was getting down to cue. Well, how expensive is that going to prove to be? Paul Collier with the eagle eyes.
Murphy with the same thing.
Thank you.
Precarious in the extreme, but he looks okay. This is awkward cueing, though. No, that was always going to be very difficult.
Oh. And O'Sullivan straight back in with this red over the pocket.
Really, really difficult. I mean, the shot wasn't easy as it was, but having to be mindful of the red that O'Sullivan fouled inadvertently.
He'll settle for that. He couldn't play it much harder because the cue ball would have stayed down that end of the table with all the topspin on, so he had to play it steady. Stretching over reds again. And just come back a little too far for comfort.
6.
He'll be wanting to save that red over the baulk corner in case he gets into trouble.
7.
Now, he can get to the red by the black spot, which would lead him to the black, possibly. The red to the left of the reds, just to the left of the pink spot there. That's available too. The red to the left of the pink spot is the one that I think he wants to get onto. And he could open the reds up. Well, that certainly developed things. Always knew he was going to be on that red over the baulk corner if he didn't land on one of these reds.
Thirteen. $18.
And now he's got the red in the
19.
baulk corner, if he so wishes to play on it. He could try and come down for one of the reds, and he'd still have that red over the corner if he didn't get there.
$24. $25.
And not a good positional shot on the blue. Yeah, didn't want to catch the yellow. He would have been on the red in the middle of that cluster.
30.
Wonderful shot.
31.
Couldn't quite get the right side of the blue, but a great recovery shot. May take the yellow, the brown. I'll try and send the cue ball round the table off the blue.
$33.
Yeah, I'll be cross about that one.
Well, he seemed to pot a lot of balls there for 32. And he hasn't played
Ronnie
the best safety shot.
33.
33, should I say.
An amazing 98% pot success, though, so far from O'Sullivan. Murphy, a handsome 93.
A very good effort. Tried to get that cue ball out of danger, but he's left a red onto the right corner. Couldn't see him missing that one. And it was a great shot. Didn't try to pull it back into the baulk area. He's underhit that one. Could have done with being at least 3 foot closer to this red.
6.
Not sure if he's got the angle to stun next to that red. That would leave him on the black. Well, tried to run through for the black. And I don't think he's on it. Had he screwed to the red next to it, and I think it was easy enough to do that, it'd have been guaranteed to have been on the black. And he could bring the pink into play, try and get the cue ball dead on the cushion behind the green.
Bramble. Shaun Murphy, 7.
Chance here for Shaun. Been very good on the long pots. And still is.
One.
And unless he can see the yellow, the kiss could have been kinder.
Bramble.
Very unfortunate not to be on a colour there.
Shaun Murphy, 1.
And hasn't cut off the left side of the table, which is the easier way to escape. Just come off the side cushion, land up to that red behind the black. If it had cut off that side of the table, it would have been much more difficult. I think he can get the snooker behind the black. Just stun off the black cushion.
Well, the first 4 frames were pretty breathless, weren't they? So this is something of a timeout right now, at the start of the post-interval session.
Well, without the kiss, it could have been a snooker. As it is, there's a half chance here for Shaun Murphy. Just going to be aware of the pink on that right side cushion.
Terrific pot.
Terrific kiss.
Well, he deserved it, didn't he? What a pot this was.
Although this isn't easy.
Pressure on it, certainly.
Didn't play it as though there was any pressure there. What a pot this was. Look at this.
8.
Good kiss on the black. Just avoided the in-off. And every chance of taking the frame now.
Shaun Murphy looked a little shocked in his chair when that one went in.
£31 points the difference. Red, black, red.
16.
Is enough.
$17.
Just checking. And sometimes that's the hardest thing to do down there.
$24.
The crowd know that was frame ball. A frame that was in the balance right up until Ronnie O'Sullivan knocked in that sensational long red, gone on the black.
32.
Made the black look easy, it wasn't. And he's back in front.
33. $37. 39.
The green is academic. It was the long-range red after Shaun Murphy must have thought it was relatively safe, but did the damage for Ronnie O'Sullivan as he leads by 3 frames to 2. A UK final chock full of quality from both players, and Ronnie O'Sullivan produced a moment of inspiration in that 5th frame, which made the difference, raking in a long red. Such a tough pot. He got position on the black as well. That wasn't easy. Knocked that in and cleared up to lead 3-2.
Thank you,
well,
frame 6.
Shaun Murphy fans
Shaun Murphy
could
to break.
argue that it was a great pot, but it was also a good kiss on the black, which he didn't play. Unfortunate not to going off. So maybe it was a great pot, and maybe he did deserve something for that great pot. Safety success favouring Murphy. Caught it too thick. But no damage done.
If there is a weakness to Murphy's game, and it's all relative, of course, it is his tactical play. But this week, he's played some very good safety.
And he's in front on this match. 93% is very good.
And as for his long pots, well, they're just off the scale.
Well, I said no damage done. I didn't realise that red went. But what a terrific pot this was from Shaun Murphy. Deserves everything he gets from that. Long pot success equal at 71%, which is very good for the amount of long pots that they go for.
Yeah, anything from around the mid-60s is good. If you're getting 2 out of 3, very good. 3 out of 4, even better. And 4 out of 5, well, you're on fire. Murphy was asked about his form this season. Of course, he's made 2 ranking finals as well as winning the Champion of Champions. And what his secret had been to the consistency he's shown. Oh, not again. That is outrageous.
Shaun Murphy
Well,
9,
that's so
Ronnie
unlucky.
O'Sullivan 5.
Yes, it is. It's very unfortunate. Let's have a look at this again.
I was just saying that Murphy had been asked what the secret of his recent form was, and he said he didn't really know. Wasn't really doing anything that much different, but whatever it was, he said he wanted to try and keep the dice spinning for as long as possible. I mean, this is just so unlucky, Joe.
Yeah, it is, yeah, without a doubt. I mean, it wasn't a natural plant. And you take your chances when you play that shot, but to knock two in the same match is very, very unfortunate. And he's left an angle on this red, I think, to be able to play the nudge to the pink or black. Not quite. Tried to flick the black.
6.
Left-hand side on the cue ball, which gives him nice position on this red.
11.
He's got to try and get the right side of the blue this time to be able to open the reds up. Again, I think he tried to flick the reds with all the top spin on. Now he's going to play that shot again with a lot of left-hand side on the cue ball. Well, this is a plant there. Disappointed making contact with the brown.
17. Ronnie O'Sullivan, 17.
But he puts that white ball just where he wants it. And look at that for a safety. Covered all the reds.
Just a little tap on the table there from Murphy. Quickly forgets about the disappointment of crashing into the brown to lose position by playing a top-class safety. More evidence of the sanguine mentality of O'Sullivan these days. Doesn't let disappointment affect him for very long at all, in a way that he may have done in the past. That looks potentially short. He's got there, though.
Yes, I was with you. I thought it was short.
Seemed to gather pace, didn't it?
Looks good. Well, he could try and play the shot that he's just played. Land up to these two reds behind the black. Can't see him leaving anything from this. Doesn't want to bring the red too far off the cushion. That's his problem. And to get the cue ball down the table, missing the brown, he may have to bring the red off the cushion. Can Murphy be tempted by this red? He'd have to play it with left-hand side on the cue ball. No, not interested. I just wonder if there's a red available, the one directly below the pink spot. If it goes to the left corner. Another very good safety.
We're seeing the full arsenal of skills that this game can bring today, aren't we? Big breaks, centuries, tremendous long potting, great safety, bottle, nerve. It's a pretty intoxicating package.
Yes, that wasn't bad either. Had to catch it extremely thin to avoid the red on the right side cushion. Caught it too thick, and he was fortunate that that red kissed the other reds. Although it's still on to the corner, and Shaun's been attacking everything and getting most of them.
Another tremendous pot from range from Murphy.
Absolutely wonderful. And full marks for staying so positive and fighting. And he's got a great chance now. Not an easy clearance. But the black and pink free now. And might be able to leave an angle on the black here to disturb those two reds and stay on the one to the left corner.
Seven.
Just needs a little touch to develop them.
$13. $14. $20. $21.
We talked at the start of the match about the importance of
26.
Murphy staying with O'Sullivan, not allowing the rocket to get 2-3 frames ahead. That's how you apply the pressure.
27.
So this is a very important break.
Just didn't come far enough there. I think he wanted to be on the black to give the reds a nudge. Just a little bit too much right-hand side on the cue ball.
33.
So Sullivan will be coming back to the table. Watch the side. Just too much.
Thanks, Shaun. Shaun Murphy, 33.
So just 20 points in it. Still 59 available.
Yeah, good job at kissed. He's pushed one over. Can O'Sullivan see it? Not with that little kiss. That little kiss saved him. Well, he could go in off here, but I don't think he'd be too bothered if he did. The red would be safe.
Shaun Murphy, 4.
Well, it might be cuttable. Very nearly missed the red. Overcut it. And the kiss didn't save him this time. Although he is slightly hampered over the green. Well, the snooker's not going to gain him anything. Easy enough to come off the cushion, land up to the reds. He could just touch the green. Leave the cue ball on the baulk cushion.
Ronnie Sullivan, 1.
Not too bothered about not getting the snooker. Wanted Shaun to catch them thick, like he has done, and this is a chance. Looks a bit straight on the pink. No, it's got a bit of an angle. Come off the cushion, try and disturb the reds. Well, what a shot that was. Quite incredible.
Object ball off the cushion. That was tough.
Well, he could leave Shaun Murphy hampered, play the green, leave the cue ball in front of the green. That would be a tough shot. Or he could play the snooker, touch the yellow, he's snookered.
Sullivan
Missed the snooker. Had he just touched the yellow, he was snookered. I'd have favoured leaving that cue ball right in front of the green net. It would have been very, very difficult to hit thin. It's over the pocket. Well, the red's easy enough, but the cue ball's going into the green. So unless he screws off the green, it's going to be difficult to get to a colour.
One.
By the standards of the previous frames, this one has been lengthy, but no less gripping. Very, very important for Shaun Murphy.
Ronnie Sullivan 1.
I don't think he's got the snooker. No, this is definitely a chance. He'd be on the green if he stuns the yellow in.
And he'd need the green and brown to go with it to level the match.
Great pot. He doesn't want it to bounce too far.
2.
I think it's bounced a little too far. Yeah. Don't think he can pop that. And it's already a big frame, this. 4-2 or 3 each. Great pot on the yellow, but just lost the cue ball. Well, he'd be pleased to knock that pink a little closer to the cushion. Well, this time it's Sullivan who's pushed the green over the pocket. It's gone in. He had the snooker.
Yes, he didn't really want that, did he?
Well, he's still got a very easy safety shot. But it could have done without that green going in, as you say.
Ronnie Sullivan 3.
So now Murphy needs the brown and the blue. Sullivan needs them all.
Not one of his best, and didn't get any luck. Poor safety from Shaun. Not hard enough. He's not coming towards the pink without sending the cue ball all the way around the table. And he needs them all. This looks good. This looks good.
9.
This looks very good.
Well, Shaun Murphy pinched the 4th frame on the final black to level the match at 2 each, and now Ronnie O'Sullivan has the chance to return the compliment to move 2 clear for the first time in this final. Which he does. It was a tremendous positional shot from blue to pink, and that's a bit of a hammer blow for the magician as the rocket powers into a 4-2 lead. And a potentially highly significant frame has just come and gone here at the Barbican in the UK final. Rocket Ronnie O'Sullivan moving 2 frames clear, pinching that 6th frame on the final black. Shaun Murphy experiencing more bad luck early in the piece when he went into the pack of reds, not one in, as he did earlier. Of course, there were other chances after that, but in the end, it's O'Sullivan who's taken it. And he's 4-2 clear, so Murphy needs a quick response now. 3 more frames in this first session. A possible 10 this evening if we go all the way. I'm sure this Barbican crowd are hoping that's the case. It's been terrific entertainment. Both players playing exceptionally well as they've done throughout the tournament. They both thoroughly deserve to be in the final. And it's O'Sullivan with the edge at 4-2. If he wins the next one, of course, he's guaranteed a lead of some sort going into the final concluding session. But Murphy hasn't done a lot wrong. So he has to stay positive, Joe.
Yes, it was just that last shot on the brown, wasn't it?
Frame.
His safety let him down after playing so well on the safety. One shot cost him. Got to try and stay positive because there's hardly anything in this match. I know Sullivan's 4-2 up, but it's only maybe 1 or 2 shots. Well, that's freed the black. A little unfortunate catching the brown full in the face, but hasn't left anything except an easy safety shot. And O'Sullivan with a good chance of getting that cue ball in behind the brown. Not hard enough. He had the line of the shot. Didn't have the pace. Well, that's where he played the cue ball too. He raised his hand for the fluked red. Funnily enough, it could have cost him the frame if this brown doesn't go in.
This is a horrible shot, isn't it? Blind pocket, thin.
Don't think he's taking it on. Don't blame him. That's a good safety.
Shaun Murphy 1.
Cutting off the right side of the reds.
Murphy loves to attack, and he's done so all week long, all season long, really, but you have to know when to rein it in, and 4-2 down to O'Sullivan. He can't afford to push the boat out at this stage. Has to stay with the rocket if he can.
Well, it was a real pressure shot, the brown, wasn't it? And as you say, it could have cost him dearly had he missed it. This looks good as well. And there is no red there this time to escape from. What a safety shot. What a pace. Appreciated by this very knowledgeable crowd here at York. Could land up to those 3 reds behind the black spot. Coming off the right side cushion.
Foul. And a miss. Ronnie O'Sullivan 4. Back.
Well, this is so difficult, but he must be able to see the red.
This way a little bit there. Look at the left. Okay. Thank you. Foul. And a miss. Ronnie O'Sullivan 4.
I don't think he can see a red full ball. Let's have a look where the cue ball is replaced. I don't think he can see one full ball.
Shaun Murphy making life harder for himself here by telling the referee it was a fraction to the left.
This time I'll award the frame.
Well, he obviously can see one full ball.
Yes, he's been warned. You naughty boy.
Well, what a safety shot it was from O'Sullivan. Might just turn out to be a frame-winning safety shot.
Well, he could come off the right side cushion, land up into those 3 reds that I suggested. He's got 3 reds to go at. Now, what's the damage? Can you see this red? That's closest to the left corner. I don't think you can see the easy red, and this one is tough.
Yeah, the last thing O'Sullivan wants to do is hand Murphy a chance here. And that red is tough, very missable.
Oh, that's a super shot. That really is a good shot. He's a great middle pocket player. Sullivan slams them into the middles from nowhere, and he can roll them into the middle as well, as we've just seen.
Well, the gentleman in the crowd said it. Great shot.
I was about to say that Shaun had been a little fortunate with his last shot. Not anymore. Just a little pacey.
6. Seven.
Now back in prime position. He'd like to take that red away from the black spot, but I'm not sure if he's got the angle to get to that red just yet.
Well,
I think he overthought everything
Ronnie
there.
O'Sullivan, 12.
I don't think this was the red he played for. I think he played for the red nearest the pocket. Look where the cue ball is.
Surprising. Shaun Murphy will be relieved. I'm not sure he's left anything, though, O'Sullivan.
No, maybe he hasn't left anything, but at least he's not at the table scoring. That's the way that Shaun Murphy should be thinking. It wasn't far away, but it's a half chance this now for Shaun Murphy. Wasn't the best safety shot from Shaun, and it could have been very costly. Yeah, good shot. And now a great chance.
Six. Seven.
was a nice shot. He's got such great cue power, Shaun Murphy. And he's on this red to the right corner. Choice of pink or black. Preferably the pink.
14.
Till he can take that red away from the black spot area. Can't do it next shot.
$20. 21.
But he could play on that red this time round, the one that's closest to the black spot. He doesn't need to, because as long as he keeps scoring, he's okay. But he'd like to get the black back on its spot. It makes it easier to play those 3 reds behind the black spot.
27. 28. 33. 34.
And now he can take the black, get the black back on its spot. And the black is free to both pockets.
41.
It was Ronnie O'Sullivan's turn to miss an opportunity. And absolutely vital from Shaun Murphy's point of view that he punishes that. Closes the gap to 1.
42.
Well, that's not the best shot he's ever played. I don't think he knows what's happened there. He was hoping to take the place of the red with the cue ball, but he's come back to the cushion too far. Played that well. Which leaves him on this red. But a real pressure shot, this.
49.
Near knuckle, but it dropped in. 31 points, the difference. Does it need those 2 reds under the cushion?
$57.
A little too far.
58.
But he'd only need the red, so doesn't need to do anything special with the cue ball. Just leave himself with a pot on this red. Somewhere around about there, where he can reach it.
.44 the lead. The red will make it 45 with 43 on.
63. 64.
There'll be 2 snookers for O'Sullivan if Murphy sinks the blue.
$69.
Well, he doesn't want to leave him an easy chance, rolling the red over the pocket. So I agree with that shot. Send the cue ball, that red down the table. Well, so
Shaun
close to
Murphy,
going in.
69.
The only way to get to the black here, and he needs the black from this red, is to play it cushion first. And that will do nicely. He's on the black. Just about. He needs the black. Otherwise, it's 2 snookers to tie.
$7. Ronnie O'Sullivan, 7.
Ronnie O'Sullivan concedes. Well, the 60-odd break there from Shaun Murphy, not his best at the final, but it may be the most important because he's closed the gap to a single frame again at 4-3. 5-2. The alarm bells would have been sounding, but an excellent 60-plus break after Ronnie O'Sullivan was in and missed a red. So instead of a 3-frame gap, it's a much more manageable 1-frame disadvantage for Murphy, with 2 more to come in this session. The pace may have slowed a little since the interval, but it's no less compelling. O'Sullivan leaving the arena after the disappointment of losing that frame when he had a chance.
Thank you. The final frame of this session.
Well, I
Shaun
beg your
Murphy
pardon.
to break.
There are only 8 in this session. I had been advised there were 9. So it could be honours even, or it could be a 2-frame gap restored for O'Sullivan. 10, of course, is the target.
What a great pot. And nothing you can do about that, Shaun. He's knocked in a fantastic red. He's finished nicely on a colour.
Four.
A little switch to left-handed.
Five.
And got the angle to go into the reds. Oh, simple black off the spot.
Ronnie O'Sullivan, 5.
Saw what it meant to him. That was a real knuckle duster.
Wasn't even close. Well, a rarity indeed. Furious. We saw him wrap the table when he missed the opportunity to force a deciding frame in Coventry at the Champion of Champions final. Murphy then mopping up the colours to win that very prestigious event.
Well, this is a great chance to punish, because he'll be sat there thinking, there's no doubt about that, He's only human. Well, he's still on a red, but he didn't catch the reds. He caught that loose red.
8.
And that's why they haven't split. Needed to play it with a lot more left-hand side on the cue ball to catch the reds themselves. Sullivan straight back in again. Let's hope he hasn't hurt his cueing hand. You're going to hit the table, hit it with your left hand. Oh, forgot he can play with both.
Well, pretty rare to see Murphy miss with the rest. It wasn't easy, of course, but he'll be disappointed not to have punished O'Sullivan more there. And now Ronnie can forget about the easy miss on the black, although this isn't ideal.
It's got to be the yellow, I think. Good pot. Does that red next to the pink go? If it does, that was a cracking positional shot.
3.
That's got to hurt. It would have hurt a lot more, though, if Shaun Murphy had made something big as a result of the miss. And now O'Sullivan back in prime position with the double.
And a risky double, the way he played it. He'd left the red on. This is the double, but look where the cue ball finished.
11.
It finished high on the black.
12.
That hasn't worked out.
19.
Can he see enough of it? He could.
20.
Maybe a little cannon to those two reds above the black.
$27. 28. 35.
Still O'Sullivan
36.
at an outstanding 95%. Murphy only just a shade behind. Those stats are also excellent.
Well, everybody's going to be in for a treat this evening, whether it's 5-3 or 4 each. These two are playing some superb stuff. And the safety's excellent. Breaks are brilliant. And the commitment's there from both. He's overdone it. But he's okay. He's on the red to the left corner.
38.
2 hours of playing time for very nearly 4 completed frames is very good going in a final with so much at stake. Ronnie O'Sullivan is going to pass the £500,000 barrier for prize money on the table if he wins tonight. Still half the season to come, and more.
39. Does the blue go?
44.
Red colour red.
45.
Just overscrewed it a little.
52.
49 ahead, so he needs a colour with this red. And he hasn't got it.
Ronnie O'Sullivan, 52.
The lead is 49, but there's still 59 there.
Yes, he had such an easy black, but he overscrewed it for that red to the middle.
What a frame this would be for Shaun Murphy to steal. Not this time, though, from long range.
Well, that kiss has given Shaun Murphy a great chance. Doesn't want the kiss. He didn't want that kiss. He wanted to finish high on the blue. It's a good attempt. It's a cracking attempt. And I think he's on the red. And can get to the blue.
That's one of the shots of the final so far. Could not have hit that any better.
Well, he's gone favourite, Shaun Murphy.
A test of nerve as much as skill now for Murphy. He's cleared up from this kind of scenario thousands of times before in matches on the practice table, but not under this kind of pressure. The opportunity to share the session with O'Sullivan. Well, he's had a few chances in this frame that have gone begging.
May have to play up for the blue again.
13.
Doesn't want to be straight on the red. 31 points, the difference.
18.
So any of these big colours down this end of the table is okay.
19.
Wrong side of the pink. But he's got the angle to go up the table. Underhit it. Gonna need the rest.
25.
Mr. Reliable with the rest.
27.
Great rest player, even when he's under extreme pressure, like that last shot was.
30.
Only the black not on its spot.
34.
And, well, I'm not sure if he can hold for the pink. Which means he has to come off the cushion. Anything
39.
but straight, and I think that's absolutely perfect to drop him behind the black. Doesn't want to be on the cushion.
45.
That's as bad as it could be. It couldn't have been any worse, and he gets a little smile from O'Sullivan because he knows that this is missable.
Huge pressure on this. What an important black. He's got it. He's got it. And what a final we have on our hands now. It's been utterly compelling from the first ball to the last in this opening session, and it is set up perfectly. We're no nearer to knowing who's going to be crowned UK champion, but what a finale we have in store. Ronnie O'Sullivan 4, Shaun Murphy 4. They both need 6 to be crowned champion.